Hello, everyone. We're getting started now in a minute. I see that a bunch of you already joined. The first thing, let's do a little check. Can you hear my voice? Can you see my waving? And the third one is, can you see my presentation? Anthony, mine not working either. Yeah, so I just started it, so we were a minute late. Sorry about that. Now it's working. Donnie says now it's working. Greg says yes. Leith says yes. John, Huan, Brandon, perfect. John says, to have you all, I hope we're going to learn something new, some new things today. Leighton, hey all. Awesome. So yeah, I just need a couple of more yeses to confirm that you guys can hear me fine and see my little picture of my video on the side and the presentation. Patrick, yes. Keith, John. All right, awesome. So I think I had enough yeses, so we can definitely get started. Guys, I'm really excited to be here today. I'm a little nervous because it's honestly been 10 months, since I've done a live session. We had two sessions booked for this week. One was yesterday. We had a full room of 200 people, and today we're kind of pushing the limit. We're not at 200 yet. I think we're going to be there in the next couple of minutes. So great to have all of you guys here. The reason I haven't done a live in so long, we have this recorded webinar that was just providing a lot of information, and a lot of people have been going through that. But now we have changed certain things within the program that we have, and certain things have been changing. So I've seen the necessity to update the training and do a live one, and also, of course, to get feedback from you guys to see what you think about live trainings like this. So throughout this process, if anything freezes, I want you to refresh your browser, right? Because this is live, obviously, but then sometimes since we're live, so there might be a couple of seconds of delay. Sometimes on your end, it might just freeze or you might lose the audio. The best thing you can do is just refresh your screen, and we should pick up where you left off. That's the way it would work. Throughout my presentation, on the right side of your screen, you see the chat box. You can ask your questions. I'm going to read them every once in a while, so don't hesitate to ask your questions. But at the end, I'm going to have a Q&A session where you can ask more questions about this industry, how it works, how things work, and things like that. So if you're ready, let's get started. So as you can see from the title of the presentation, the goal is to talk to you about this business model that will allow you to earn 15, 20K per month within the first 60 days, even if you've never been from the industry, you never have done this before, and you don't have the expertise in this area. And I know that's a strong claim. So my goal with this presentation is to justify why this actually is the greatest business model there is today. Thomas says, hello again. Gurley says, I think I have a question for you. Sure, just shoot. I might not answer it immediately, but you can certainly ask your question. Leeson says, my chat is not working. It is. I can read what you're posting here. So I'm highly respectful of your time. So for that reason, I want to kind of let you know who this presentation will be a good fit for. And if you don't belong to any of these categories, it doesn't make you a bad person. It's just this might not be a fit for you. And yesterday's session was about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. So I don't want to take 2 hours off of your life if you were expecting something else and this is not for you, right? So this presentation for anyone who's entrepreneurial, you might have a job right now, or you might be a stay-home mom, or you might be on disability, you might not have a job, but as long as you have an entrepreneurial spirit, this was going to talk about the business opportunity. A lot of you I know that have jobs. I call it the golden handcuff. I used to have a job, which you'll find out more about in a second. A job gives you the sense of security because you know that you have the paycheck coming on Friday, either bi-weekly or weekly, and they give you the benefits and things like that. It makes it very difficult to get rid of it to start your own journey as an entrepreneur, because there are a lot of uncertainties about owning your own business, and job doesn't have a lot of that. Yeah, they might fire you tomorrow, but it's just the illusion is created that you're a part of something and you're paid for it, but it kind of kills your dream of the freedom, because you're counting days to your annual holiday that you can maybe take 2 weeks, 3 weeks off and things like that. It never gives you the financial freedom, because the moment that you don't have the job, the income is not going to produce itself, right? You can't do that through a job. Maybe you're looking for a business for a while and you tried different things and you dabbled in different avenues, and you couldn't find something that has a low overhead, low cost, and high income potential. And some of you might even be from the industry, from the alternative lending industry. Maybe stuck where you are, or maybe you're kind of tired of generating leads and sales through telemarketing and cold calling, right? So if you're any of that, this is definitely a good fit. Again, if you're still here, I want to make sure that I know that this is not probably you, but if you think that you're going to find information about how to get rich quick, how to be a millionaire tomorrow, if you think that this is a multi-level marketing opportunity, this is not. I don't have anything against multi-level marketing, but this is not one of those things. This is a legitimate, actual business where you provide a solution to people who are in need of your services. This is not affiliate marketing, so you're not going to be in a position to promote somebody else's product. And this is not going to talk about a fly-by-night product or e-commerce business or like Amazon business or anything like that. Donnie says, no, all of them, the third and last one. Girl says, I'll wait until after. All right, no problem. All right, so how do you make the best out of this training? Unless you're watching this on your cell phone, obviously don't turn off your cell phone. But if you're watching this on your cell phone, keep it on, but don't feel the urgency to check your social media. If you're watching this on your laptop or desktop, your friends and anyone who you're watching on social media can wait for another hour, an hour and a half. Because guys, what I know is sometimes there are things that you see a glimpse of an opportunity, and you don't wanna miss the whole opportunity because you were busy doing something else, right? So if you schedule this meeting to be with me for the next hour and a half to 2 hours at most, I just want you to make the most out of it. I don't, if anyone who knows me, I don't just provide information just to fill space. I don't do fluff and I don't hype things up and things like that. So if there is something I put in this presentation, it's because I think that you need it. I think that it would answer your questions. So let's try to stay focused for as long as we have time here. Try to give your undivided attention and ask questions, because best questions come when you're just 100% focused. So you can really ask deeper level questions to see if this is a good fit for you or not, right? That's the bottom line. That's what I'm trying to get to, get everyone to. I know this is not a good fit for everyone, but for those who would be, you don't want to miss out on an opportunity because you weren't paying attention, right? That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so let's get started. What you will learn specifically today is I'm going to justify and prove to you what makes this industry one of the best business opportunities right now. And what is the recipe for success? And let's talk about the elephant in the room. What's the recipe for failure? Because small businesses do fail. When you start your own business, there is always this innate risk of failing. And I want to talk about that too, because I've experienced a lot of failure myself, and I've seen many people fail. So we're going to talk about the pitfalls and how not to fail. And of course, what you've been waiting for is how to make 15, 25K a month in commissions, which is money in the bank. So sometimes when someone says, oh, you can make 20K a month, then only after you find out that, well, 18,000 of that is an expenses like ad budget and things like that. Now, when I say 15 to 25, I'm talking about 15 to $25,000 in your bank account, right? And you can get to that level without telemarketing or cold calling within the first 30 to 60 days. Will everyone get there? No, obviously not. But if you follow a system, if you do what you need to do, it is certainly a possibility. And I'm going to introduce you to people who's been doing it consistently. All right, if you're watching until the end, I'm going to talk about what we call the blueprint, so you can successfully implement what you're learning in this blueprint. In this training. You're going to learn about my program, which a lot of you know about. So we've updated the program, and there are a lot of things that makes it a lot easier for any new member to come in and achieve massive success. You'll be able to, if you do have additional questions, you'll be able to schedule a call with me or one of my associates within my company. And also, most importantly, you're going to learn how to start, grow, and scale a highly profitable business in this industry. Lita says, I'm in the industry. On my last deal, the commission was $50,000. I want to learn how to make it consistent and predictable. Can your program help me with that? Absolutely. Yeah. So that's the problem, right? Inconsistencies. That's what kills the businesses sometimes. You see the potential of the business, but when you have inconsistent income, you make that money, and the next 6 months you don't make anything. Well, that's the problem. A lot of you know me, and for those of you who don't know me, my name is Oz. My real name is not Oz, but I kind of got tired of repeating how to pronounce my name, I don't know, probably 50,000 times. And I didn't want to torture people anymore. So I wanted to come up with a name that's easier for people to remember. Plus, I think Oz is a very cool name. So I'm going with that. So you can just call me Oz. That's fine. But I just wanted to let you know my real name. So I'm the founder of Business Lending Blueprint. I'm the founder of a couple of 7-figure companies. I've been in the internet marketing business for over 15 years. Invested in my own education and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right now, currently, every year I spend about $30,000 for different coaching that I get from other people, different training programs, different products, and different masterminds that I go to. Because one thing I know that if I'm going to be useful to any of my members and any of my students, I got to constantly develop myself, right? There's no such thing as, oh, you reach a level that you don't need anything else. You're like the god of marketing and you don't need to add anything more to it. You get better at what things that you do if you become a better student. So my marketing agency, Local Marketing Stars, have been known to generate hundreds of thousands of leads for our clients, and that turned into over $40 million in sales. In this picture, you see me holding an award. Some of you are familiar with that. It's the 2 Comma Club Award. When one of your businesses makes $1 million or more, you are given that award. So I'm an international speaker. I speak nationally and internationally at different events. I wrote 2 books on marketing. I've been featured in Entrepreneur Magazine and Reuters and things like that, main publications. The reason I'm going through this, guys, because it's important for you to know the source of the information you're getting, right? Now, online, everyone is guru, and someone might be claiming they know something and they tend to talk about it, but they don't have any prior experience. So that's why I wanted to go through this, not to brag about all the things that I might have done and I'm still doing and things like that, but for you to understand where I'm coming from. I'm speaking of experience, not just, I didn't just wake up one day and put together this presentation. It's backed up by a lot of just street time, and I'll tell you more about my story, but I just want to give you a glimpse of who I am. I started out with, maybe like some of you guys, I grew up in a low-income family, immigrant family, came to the United States, went to high school, went to college. I did double major, actually, studied biology and chemistry, thinking that, I'm pretty smart, so I'm going to graduate and I'm going to have a great job, only to find out I really didn't have much of any marketable skills for anyone to pay me. So that was certainly a wake-up call. I didn't know what to do with myself because I didn't really, my only option was to go to a lab and work for maybe $9 to $10 an hour. And after 5 years of school, and owing more than $35,000 in student loans, it just didn't fit well. And I was just really bummed. And I just wanted to find a job. And I started working as a salesperson at a small company. Actually, it was so small that I was their first employee. It was a 1-person company trying to grow. It was a friend's friend who hired me. I tried to get, I applied to bigger companies for 100% commission positions, but they wouldn't hire me because I didn't really have any experience or skills on that end. So that friend's friend hired me for 100% commission job, and this was my car that my father bought me at the time. This is Cavalier, I think it's 1995. It's an old beat up car. I worked the entire month, and at the time I really didn't know how 100% commission sales worked. So I thought I was gonna end up making some big check at the end of the month because I was doing some sales here and there. It ended up being $800 on my first month. At the time I had a girlfriend who's my wife right now. It was really embarrassing because after I took out my gas money, the tickets that I received for parking in the wrong places in New York City and things like that, I ended up almost with zero. And that was really, really, depressing because I just didn't know what else to do. And I remember in Montclair, New Jersey, there's a street where there are a lot of restaurants. I just started walking into each one of them and looking for a job. And one of them, I guess, felt bad for me and gave me a job to bus tables. And I started bussing tables, wash dishes, and I got promoted to be a waiter. And I've done that for a while, for a couple of years, until I got a real job where I was hired by a company named Paychex. It's a payroll company, as a full-time salary employee, and I got my first cubicle. But through that time, my then girlfriend, now wife, we got married, and she was going to school. And since I couldn't afford to pay rent, we asked our parents to see if they can help me out. My parents allow us to move down to their basement pretty much, and we lived there for 2 years until I kind of get things going. So very humble beginnings, and got the first job. I was really proud of myself. They gave me a cubicle, and I said, this is pretty good. I got my cubicle, I got a salary. not making commissions on top of the salary because I've learned some sales skills and some marketing skills and things like that. I was doing some email marketing to generate leads, and I was always like outside. Then that allowed me to promote another position with another publicly owned company in New York City. So I climbed the corporate ladder pretty fast. So from like making $0 in income with 100% commission job, I moved to $175,000 in annual income. So which was no matter where you live, it's obviously very good income. And my wife graduated from school, and she became a nurse. So we were doing fine. We were doing not bad at all, financially speaking. But there was a secret that we really were not really talking about. Like I was at networking events 4 to 5 nights a week because that's what my company required. I almost became alcoholic because if you know about networking events, like after hour networking events, after 5 p.m., there's like a 1 or 2 drink minimum in New York City. So attending 4 or 5 of these per week. And plus I'm an introvert, so I'm not the type of the guy who would go to networking events just to meet people. So I needed those drinks. And soon enough, I noticed that I was doing more than 2 drinks, doing 3 drinks, 4 drinks. So I was going down that path. During daytime, I was doing 2 days of telemarketing. So calling 300 people a day, every single day. 2 days of the week. The 4 days of the remaining of the week, which is pretty much 6 days, right? I was outside. I had a team to manage. I was pulling on doors. I had appointments, and when I'm not doing all of that, I was on my phone 24/7. So on the right, you see my family right now. But at that time, I just thought that's just what you do, right? That's you get a good job, you climb the corporate ladder, and you make a lot of money. Only to find out that I wasn't really spending any time with my family until one day I was on the phone with my wife. I was telling her about our successes and how we hit our monthly goal as a team at the job. And her question was, well, it's all fine, honey, but when will we have dinner again together? That's when I noticed that it's been a really, really long time since we quietly sat down and had just, civilized conversation as 2 human beings without the interference of my phone and my emails and my team and things like that. It was like an epiphany, right, for me. So that's when I noticed that, listen, they kind of bought my soul. That's just what happened. They were giving me the money, but they were not giving me the time to spend that money. And during that time, one of my coworkers, who were about 20 years older than me, and he was making more money than me, he got fired because he was just getting older and they wanted to hire someone younger. He was making too much money for the company. So that was the writing on the wall, and that kind of hopefully at that point I was just deciding to start a business, right? I said, listen, I'm hoping I can find something that I can start and that will be successful. And that led to my research on starting the best business possible, because that was like a turning point in my life, because I knew that I can't be doing this forever. The cycle cannot be done forever. So, and that led me to do a lot of research, a lot of investment on my end to start a marketing agency, then grow that to a coaching agency. And I've done a lot of sales and credit card processing and merchant cash advance. Now I know what my why is. I mean, as you've seen from this picture, this is where we live right now with my 2 kids and our dog Tofu and my wife and myself. So my priority, my why is to be able to spend time with them. If I need to be at the office, I go to the office. But if I need to be at home, I'm home. I have that flexibility and freedom. So that's my why. That's what caused me to quit a job that was paying me a ton of money and bring myself home and with my family. My life doesn't work anymore. But everyone could have a different why. And obviously, if you're watching this, there's a reason why you're here, right? And over the years, I've talked to thousands of people. And if I were to sum up some of the reasons why people look for an exit, whether that's from a job or that's from something that's not giving them enough income or enough time or time freedom or location freedom, whatever it is, there are reasons why people are looking for a way out. And these are, if I were to sum it up, could be some of them. So I want you to go through that one by one and see and let me know which one it is for you. Is it because you're tired of working for somebody and making somebody's dream a reality? And maybe you want to control your destiny, guys. Like we don't know how much time we have left on earth, right? So we want to be able to, there are a lot of things we can't control, but at least we want to control what we do day in and day out. Most of our life has been spent on some kind of job or doing something to generate income. So at least you want to control that part and have more freedom, right? Maybe you have a deep desire to feel accomplished, to be recognized by the people around you as a successful example. You want to spend more time with family and kids. That was my why, right? And some of you want to be able to afford more things, better things in life. I mean, I have members whose entire goal was to travel once every 2 months, and they've been doing that right now to great destinations. And some of you guys, like we had members who should not be doing any physical work because of their health problems, but they had to do it because that was their way of making money. And this allowed them to kind of stop doing that and work from home. So I want you to go through it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to catch up with the questions a little bit. Frank says, control my destiny and help other people. 100%. Yeah. Barack says, hello, Oz. Do I need to work permit or social security number for becoming a loan broker in Canada? Barack, as long as you can open a business account in Canada, you're fine. I don't know what is required, so you want to check the government website in order to find out what it is that is required for you to open a business account. You probably need to start a business, and in order to start a business, I don't know what the requirements are. Anthony, will the company be able to help us find leads other than the strategies you show us with paid advertising and non-paid advertising via LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube? Well, I mean, those are like great strategies. And I'm not sure if I understand your question. So that though, if you apply all of them, you're going to find more leads than you can handle, Anthony. Because the other than part just pretty much sums up a lot of massive resources. Paid advertising is later. You don't really want to touch that unless you're already funding deals through organic approaches. Keith says, will this be recorded? Yes, this is recorded, but it's only released to those who are not on the call. All right, let's talk about the business model. I told you guys that I would try to convince you why this is the best business model out there. Let's break down and first understand what makes this is a very unique opportunity. So most small businesses need money, right? And they need capital money to operate day in and day out. And what has happened, especially in the United States, and there are ripple effects in Canada and United Kingdom through that, is the 2008 recession on the loan approval. So banks got in massive trouble. Obviously, they're saved by the government, but still they have this problem of approving loans for small businesses. Their approval criteria has changed, and they've become more strict on small businesses. Now, their ideal client is medium-sized to large-sized businesses. Of course, this is a massive problem because 70 to 75% of the entire economy is made up of small businesses, and 75% of the businesses who need money are small businesses. So when you cut the lifeblood of the small businesses' access to capital, that becomes a massive problem, which gave birth to alternative lending. So the other name for that is non-bank lending, right? Because the facts are more than 70% of the loan applications by small businesses are declined by the banks, whether that's local bank or national bank, your TD or PNC, doesn't matter, they decline it. And even if they get the approval, they usually get approval for less than half of what they requested. If they needed $50,000, bank might approve them for $10,000 to $15,000, which is a problem. And the other part is the approval process doesn't really fit into the lifestyle of the small business, right? It takes 6 weeks 4 to 6 weeks for them to get back to you to let you know whether you're approved or not. And there's a ton of paperwork back and forth. Guys, small businesses do not operate that way, right? They don't operate like a large business with board of directors and sales teams, marketing teams, and accounting teams and things like that. When they need money, they need the money yesterday, right? Some machine breaks, their truck breaks down, they can't operate. So they can't wait 4 to 6 weeks to get the money from the bank, right? So they need it right away. And the current system in banking in United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia, and United States does not really allow that to happen. That's why this industry has been growing massively over the past couple of years. And it's pretty much has gone over $300 billion in demand. And currently, as an industry, we're only supplying $30 to $40 billion of that. There are many products with alternative lending, but the basics of it is you're pretty much loaning money to a business based on their future sales. It could be short-term, mid-term, sometimes long-term, but a lot of times it's short-term funding. It might have a high interest attached to it. Sometimes it does not, depending on the situation, because you can fund startups, you can fund people who buy equipment, you can fund them based on their invoice. There's so many different options. Bad credit is okay because for a bank, just so you know, the qualification is one thing is the collateral. So you got to show some kind of collateral, your home, your car, or a big cosigner. With this type of lending, you don't really need any of that. If you have no credit or bad credit, you can still be okay and get the funding you need. The turnaround is specifically a perfect fit for small businesses. Within 24 to 48 hours, you can get a response and even funding in some cases to that business. What that means is someone you don't even know that comes to you because of the power of your online marketing. They find you from that moment of you meeting them to putting money in their bank account could be as long as 48 hours, which is like amazing. And the other part is lucrative for all parties involved. You're getting money to your customer really fast so they can start using it on whatever they need to use. But at the same time, it's keep paying you massive commissions, anywhere from $2,000, like one of the guests here, Leighton, says, up to $50,000, $60,000. I mean, I have members who made $15,000, $16,000 on their first deal. So I want you to kind of let that sink in and think about what it means in comparison to your job, right? So you're putting in 40, 60, 70 hours a week to make X amount of dollars. And you can't just say, oh, listen, I worked really hard last week, I'm just going to take it easy or not show up to work next week. Well, that income is gone. So you can't really do that, right? You got to show up every single week to put in that time to make that salary. So it's an exchange of time. You're just selling your time to buy some money. With this, even within the 30 days, let's say a month is 30 days, right? On average, closing one or two deals could mean $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. A lot of times people make $3,000 to $5,000 a month. So with just 2-3 customers helping them out, you can get to that level. That's just amazing. That's just, those numbers boggle me when I think about, because I used to, like, my first job was when I was going to high school, someone just hired me as like a security guard to stand at the door. It was like $7.50. So when I just think about that, it's a lot of money for just helping one customer get the funding they need. All right. All right. So let's talk about the specifics of this business and what makes this industry a great industry. Well, there's low barrier to entry. You don't need to be a franchisee to any franchisor. You don't need to lease an office. You don't really need to have an overhead. You don't need to hire employees. You don't need any certification or degrees or licensing. A lot of the financial services products require licensing, but not this industry. This industry does not require you to be licensed. The lenders need to be licensed in certain states, but not you as the broker. So that's a massive advantage. Next one is high commissions. You have unlimited earning potential. You have exponential income opportunity. And what that means is exponential income opportunity is like, if you think of a brick and mortar business, let's say a deli, and let's say they do $20,000 a month. Next month, if things go really well, they're going to make $25,000, $26,000, maybe $30,000. So that's kind of linear growth, right? They're not going to go from $20,000 to $50,000. It's just not possible. With this business, if you made, let's say, $5,000 this month, next month you can just fund a larger deal that can make you $50,000. So that's exponential growth, right? That's like 1,000%. And you have access to recurring revenue because you're dealing with small businesses and they usually need more money from you. So if you do a good job being a consultant and helping somebody out as a small business, they need funding up to 3 times per year. So you can go back and fund the same merchant a couple of times a year. That makes it a recurring revenue structure. And also that allows you to build your business without needing to have hundreds of customers. A lot of times some businesses ask you to sell a $100 product. Well, you need a ton of customers to make that amount any meaningful, right? With us, the commission structure is really high anyways. So you need a couple of customers, and those couple of customers will come back to you a couple of times a year if you do an honest job with them, with integrity, and if you really do take care of that as a consultant. The other part is lifestyle and the freedom, right? There are businesses out there that give you the low barrier to entry and high commissions, but then you're stuck to your local market. You can't really you can't really run this business from any place in any country pretty much. Like we have members right now who some of them are in Netherlands, Denmark, and some of them are in Colombia, and the different countries that are running this business. So it gives you the lifestyle, location, freedom. You can run this business in any state that you want pretty much. You can be we have members who are in Florida and they have clients in California and other states, right? The other part is low management. So sometimes you do a business, and when you sell a product, it comes with a lot of customer service. With this, we don't really get involved with what happens to the money once we fund the client. So they can take that money and use it to fix the problems they have, or invest it, or use it for marketing. Or if they decide to, they can take the money and take their kids to vacation. Obviously, we don't recommend it, but it's their money. They can do whatever they want. So on that end, there's really no product for you to manage, provide any customer service. So once the funding is initiated and done, and they get their money, you get your money, and done. That you're done. I mean, you of course want to stay in touch with that customer to help them out with their future needs, but there's really no customer service. And the other part is sales cycle, as I mentioned, is very short. You don't have to wait weeks. I mean, I have a lot of people who are from the real estate industry, realtors and real estate brokers and things like that. The industry is great, but the sales cycle could be 6 months to 2 years, depending on what you're selling. So if you can survive that long, at the end, you're going to get paid something. But the sales cycle is massively long, so we don't want that in this industry, and definitely that's not the case. So market demand. So that's out of all of these are all important, but without this, all the other things do not mean anything, right? If you're trying to sell a product that market doesn't want to buy, or they don't see a demand, then there needs to be a lot of hard sell to be done, because you're trying to convince someone why they need this. And when you're offering money, you're offering the sexiest product on earth. You don't really need to convince somebody why they need to get money. Either they need it or they don't need it. The business owners know. If you walk down any strip mall right now and start talking to businesses, well, they're going to let you know either they want money or they don't. It's a pretty straightforward process. With what we have going on here in this market, the search volume on the search engines has been growing massively over the years for any of the alternative lending products. So what works for us is there is this demand, but demand cannot be supplied by the banks, because they really do not want to deal with small businesses. They make it very difficult for them to get the funding they need. And that's why they're declining 2/3 of the loan applications. And for the first time, the alternative lending, merchant cash, advance, invoice factoring, this alternative lending industry is positioned as the true alternative. Like back in the day, when I first started 15 years ago, first of all, no one really knew about alternative lending industry. Second of all, if they did, it was kind of last resort for them, because they really didn't have much of a difficulty to get some level of funding from the bank. So it wasn't a necessity. It would be if they had it, yeah, maybe they wanted to do it, and some people did it. But now it is becoming a true alternative to businesses who cannot get funding through the banks. So for that reason, there's a massive market demand, and we're predicting this demand to grow, because especially for you guys, if you know how to position yourself as the expert and have access to multiple products, that just changes the game quite a bit. So you're not anymore someone who's just offering one or two products and hoping that the customer needs it. You are becoming like the doctor, and you can ask questions and diagnose the problem and prescribe a solution based on that. So I see that we got a bunch of questions. Let's see where we are with them. John, if I broker a loan for myself, will I get a commission and paid to me? John, yeah, of course. Leighton says 50,000 was from a return customer. Yeah, that happens all the time. Donnie says, do you need an EID? You mean EIN number? Yeah, you do if you're in the United States and if you wanna run this as a business, but there are ways you can start as an independent contractor. Donnie says, you said this is recorded for the people, not this, so this means I can't access it later today because I have to leave at 1:50. Donnie, it's just an automatic process, so anyone who doesn't show up, so they get the recording, but if you're going to have to leave early, so you can just reach out to our team and they can send it to you. Frank says, what's the percentage for the commission? Frank, that depends on what product you're offering, but it's usually, if you're talking about like the merchant cash advances, 8 to 10%. Anthony, what changes in the industry should we be looking into too that might change our income making ability and try to position ourselves that it won't have to be good? Anthony, nothing so far, nothing that we foresee, because there needs to be something that needs to happen massively for that to happen. So there we have this demand, right? So for you to be impacted by this, someone who's big enough needs to come in and start doing this, that we can't do it. So I don't see anyone who's big enough for that. The banks are big, but they don't want to touch this. So no politician was going to ban alternative lending, because that would cause them that would cause an uprising within the small business community, because now you're just just letting them die. The bank, they can't get help from the banks, and you're kind of forbidden alternative lending. That's why, like, I know no one with their right mind would do anything to negatively impact this industry. And I think everyone is happy too. Like, businesses are happy; they're getting the funding they need. Banks are happy because they want to focus on mid-sized to large-sized businesses. So I don't foresee anything happening. What are the tax implications Fed state for? I'm not an accountant, so I can't specifically obviously answer that. But if you're an LLC or S corp, you have a lot more tax benefits because your tax is a business, so you can show many things as an expense. As a 1099 or independent contractor, but you usually account for taxes at the end of the year. So I would talk to your accountant about that. Last one is multiple streams of income. As since you have access to multiple products, that allows you to generate a massive amount of leads, so you can use those leads to work with the lenders and fund deals and make money. Or if you want to have additional income, you can sell the leads to other parties who are involved in this business as well and make money that way. And you're also learning about multiple products that will be a good fit for pretty much any situation. All right, so if we sum it up, success in this business depends on two things, and two things alone. One is your ability to generate consistent amount of high quality leads. Like, the problem in the industry of people who try to do this themselves, they are not lazy. They work really hard, obviously, but they have this financial roller coaster. 1 month they really work hard to generate leads, generate without really knowing about much automations and things like that. A lot of them generate their leads through telemarketing and cold calling, like I used to, right? I used to run around for 6 days a week to generate leads. And when I do generate leads, obviously they require appointments and they require time from me. And back then, like, still a lot of people do the face-to-face meetings and they do it on the phone and things like that. So you're spending your next week or so just meeting the people that you generated as leads the prior week. And then you're working on the paperwork and you finished the month strong. You just worked hard, but now next month you don't have any pipeline because you had this massive spike in your income. The next month there's nothing going on, and you go back to the streets again, or you just hit the phones and work until you generate leads. So you have this up and down, and over time that becomes like a job, right? There's no difference. And when you divide your hourly rate based on the amount of time you're spending on that business, you might not want to know the number. So we don't want to have anyone go through that. For that reason, you got to have access to tools and automations and resources to generate high flow of consistent leads of high quality. And then the other part is you have to have the ability to close and sell them. What that means is you have to have partners that would approve your leads. You have to have lenders that will look at your files and approve them. You have to know how to consultatively ask the right questions to your customers and qualify them and get the deals funded. When you have those two taken care of, you definitely have something going for you, and that's the secret to success in this business. So if I wanted to show this more visually, for those of you who are more visual, is you are targeting businesses who need funding, which is more than 70%. Then the qualification is based on whether they have revenue or no revenue, good credit, bad credit, no credit. Are they startup or established? For each of them, in your mind, as you find out more about your customer, you're kind of putting them in a specific box of products that would be a good fit for them, because we give you access to startup funding lenders, access to established, funding for established businesses, lenders for people with bad credit, no credit, or if someone is in like decent condition with good credit, or they have no revenue, or they have revenue but bad credit. All of these combinations, you'll be able to see the full picture and be able to help them out. Then you get offers in front of them. So the lenders tell you, listen, I have these 3 offers for the specific client. You put it in front of them. There's really no hard sell, because again, we already qualify. We know that they want the money and they want the money fast, and they answered our questions. We just come back to them with the offers, and they choose one of them, and the funding takes place. 2 to 4 days, the funding takes place, and they can spend the money on anything they want. And right after that happens, you get paid. The way you get paid usually is either the day of the funding or the next day. Within 48 hours, the lender ACHs money to your account. They wire the money to your bank account. So you're not really waiting for that lender's payroll schedule or biweekly or net 30, net 60, none of that stuff. You get paid really fast, and you kind of repeat the cycle over and over again, rinse and repeat. John says, "Is this training all about MCA? What if other types of financing is more suitable?" Yeah, that's why I've been saying, John, it's not all about MCA. We're training people on multiple products. MCA is only one of the business one of the lending options out there, because offering one product is like, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? You can't really help somebody if your goal is to just offer them that product regardless, because that's all you know. It's like going to your doctor, and doctor can only prescribe Tylenol and nothing else. If you have a headache, you get Tylenol, which is good. But if you're pregnant, well, Tylenol might not be a good choice, right? So and you would only go to that doctor once and nothing more, because he's not being a consultative, authoritative person. He doesn't have any authority because he doesn't have options. He's not trained enough. He's not consultative enough. So that's the same approach that we have. We're teaching alternative lending, just not just merchant cash advance. John says, the training you provide comparable to that provided to a trainee at the typical MCA lender? No, not even close, John, because the MCA lender will give you scripts and just tell you about how MCA works, and ask you to hit the phones. So you don't forget that you become their employee. So this training is all about how to make you the employer, and learn about different products and how things work and how the real commissions work. And a lot of those MCA companies come to us and they want us to train their employees, but they don't want us to tell them about the business opportunity and things like that. So we don't really provide any training to MCA lenders. But yeah, it's apples to oranges. Donna says, can you begin this while working a job? Is this mostly automated and reducing my interaction with potential clients? Donna, yeah, a lot of my members start this when they have a full-time job. I'm not the type of coach or mentor, you might call me, who would suggest you to burn your ships and just quit your job and do this 100%. It doesn't work that way, right? You got bills to pay. Maybe you got a family. Maybe you have kids. So that would not be nice of me to offer you that, right? So my goal, what I tell every member that I have, I'll say your monthly income is right now $5,000. So do this business on the side until it generates consistently $5,000 a month. Now you have given yourself an option. Now you have an option that pays you $5,000 a month, probably working 2-3 hours a day, versus you have a job that requires 50, 60 hours of your time while paying you that much. You can quit your job. But yeah, the system is created in a way that allows you to do it while you have a full-time job. I have many people doing that. We have people with 2 jobs. We have single moms. We have moms with 2 jobs. So crazy situations. You'll get to know some of these people and their stories in a couple of minutes. But yeah, definitely designed to be done while you have a job, if you do currently have a job right now. I'm going to go through a couple of people. Abe and Sergio, 2 of my favorite guys. I know them probably for a couple of months. So they joined the program, but at the time they learned about the alternative lending industry. They've seen the potential. At the time, they were in their last year to graduate from college, and they just wanted to figure it out, and they tried to find information online. And what they found is they would just dial, right? So they found a quiet corner in the library, and they were kind of dialing quietly. And they started generating some monies. They were really happy, like $1,000 to $2,000 a month for a recent college graduate out of a library. That's pretty awesome. But then they noticed that, well, it can't just work that way, right? So they have somehow, I don't remember how they found me, but they found our system, and now they're generating $10,000 to $15,000 consistently per month. And this is a video interview they've done. Actually, guys, it's very possible that you might be skeptical if this is real or not. We actually have over 150 of our students provided like a video review of our system. And you can find it on our YouTube channel, on our Vimeo channel, and things like that. As they have pretty unique stories. I really enjoy some of the stories that I've heard. A lot of people quit their jobs. A lot of people just be able to, like I had some member who moved to Florida, actually, where her daughter was, and he wasn't able to move before because he was stuck with a job. Because if you have a job here, you can't really just jump on the plane and move. That means you're fired, right? So very unique stories. These 2 guys right now, they're partners. They moved into an office actually, and they're in the process of hiring their employees. So Daniel Diaz, he had been in the industry for a while, but he was kind of stuck in the 10 to 15K per month level for like 3 years. And he was having this roller coaster that we talked about. And every month he was working hard, making a lot of money, 1 month, and next month it was kind of going down. Now with the systems that he applied, he's averaging $30,000 to $40,000 per month in commissions consistently, month in and month out. Cheryl Tibbs is the lady I talked to. She had a corporate job, gosh, like forever, like 25 years or so. Her dream was to be able to travel. She's a single mom. Every 2 months, like a vacation every 2 months. We're friends on Facebook right now. I've known her for about 8 months. Her business generates close to $40,000 a month in commissions, and she has vacations every 2.5 months, and cruise trips and things like that, because that was her why, right? So that might not cater to why you want to do this, but she has had that dream of doing that, and her idea of getting there was her retirement. She said, "Well, I'm gonna get 65 or 67, whatever the retirement age is, and then I'm just gonna do that at that point." And she came across the business opportunity, and now she's doing that. So that's why it's important to remind yourself your why, because we have a lot of distractions, right? So you might think about why you need to make a massive change today, but tomorrow you get into a rhythm of your everyday life and you tend to forget, and before you know, time flies and 5 years pass by. All right, so why businesses fail in general, like because the failure rate is pretty high in small business community, right? And there are reasons. So let's talk about the secrets to massive success. And if you're doing the opposite of that, obviously you're going to fail. First, in this industry, you got to know your products. I can't emphasize that enough. You can't just wing it. You can wing it in the beginning if you want to and close 1 or 2 deals and high five and be really happy, but it's really not consistent. It's not, you can't just keep doing that every single month and be successful and grow your business. You got to understand different products, and you got to have knowledge of different qualifications of different lenders and things like that. So when you're in situations, when you're having conversations with business owners, or when you're qualifying them online, you know what you're talking about, because you don't want to be someone who's just like a guy or girl in the boiler room and telemarketing all day long and just pitching whatever customer wants to hear just to get the money. That's not the most ethical way to build a business. Plus, you can't really build a business. You'll make an income, but it's not going to be a real business, right? So you got to know your product. The other part is you have to have power to generate leads on demand. I can't tell you how many times people call us, like, because we have a massive online presence. So people find us online and they call our support team, and they want to purchase leads. They want to buy live transfer. They want to buy data, so to call on. They think that's their way of lead generation. That led to the creation of the Blueprint, my program, because we kind of got tired of telling people, listen, buddy, your problem is not access to leads. Your problem is you don't know what the heck you're talking about, right? So it's just band-aiding the problem. It is not gonna be a long-term solution. So you gotta be able to have control over the leads, right? Otherwise, you're relying on some third-party marketing company to get leads for you. You're relying on UCC data. UCC data, for those who might not know, is people who have been funded before. You secretly have access to their contact information, so you can telemarket them and try to convince them to work with you. All right, that's what it is. So it's for telemarketing purposes. So you have to be able to generate leads on demand if you wanna grow your business. Imagine Amazon.com buying leads from Google. Like it doesn't work, right? They advertise through them, but if you want to build your business, build your network, you got to do it on your own. You got to do it within your own means. And on top of all of that, if you try to do everything, like many people, there are a lot of people who just want to work really hard and make things happen, and they don't care how much time they put into it. I understand it, but you got to use automation to save time. I think it was Donna who was asking if you can do this while you have a job. Well, unless you have automations, no. If you cannot automate something, you have to be on top of your business almost 24/7, so that it will not allow you to do anything else. That's why you got to use automation to save time and get in front of as many people as possible. Use multiple touch points. That's another point people miss, because guys, we have different characters, right? Some of you learn better visually. Some of you are auditory. You listen to things. Some of you are more emotional. You have to connect things with your inner self and kind of think about it and things like that. So people learn things in different ways. Your customers are the same way. You're going to fail in your small business if you think that everyone is just like you. Most people are not like you, right? So you have to accommodate the different personality types. That's why you have to use multi-channel marketing, get in front of multiple people. You don't want to put all your eggs in the same basket. So multiple touch points, multi-channel marketing is definitely a way to go. And the last part is we're not teaching hard sale because there's no hard closing, hard sale. You don't need to have any sales background, but you still need to know how to help someone make a decision. That's called sales, but in a very consultative manner. You want to help them make a decision. You're not making a decision for them and pushing them to follow your authority. That's not what we do. We want to make sure that first they have a need. First, that need is urgent. They want the money right now. A third, they trust you and they want your help. They want you to help them. So when you have those three together, all you have to do is put the offer in front of them. That's what the consultative sales is pretty much. And you have to have access to multiple streams of income, multiple funding options. I think it was Anthony or someone else was asking, I think it was John, will it just be about merchant cash advance? It can't. You can't sustainably grow a business based on just one product. You can't be just one trick pony. You have to have multiple products that accommodate to the multiple needs of the people. And you have to have access to the right partners. Without the right lenders, your business will suffer, and you're going to have massive problems such as backdooring, someone taking your deal and things like that. Because people who started this business on their own, they don't know the lender, so they just Google it. Well, the problem with that is someone who's portraying themselves as a lender might not even be a lender. So you're working with people, they're trusting them, and you're submitting your deals to them, to only to find out they're not even the real deal. That's why you have to have the right partners who are willing to support you and they have skin in the game, so they're not going to take advantage of you. Two says, how much access will we have with you for a consultation? I'm going to get to that too. Anthony, what's the path from making commissions for referrals to being a lender to the product we offer? What is the path from making commission for the referrals to being a lender to the products we offer? The path is you're just submitting the deal with a couple of months of bank statements, and they take over from that point on to approve the deal. All right, the last one is you got to have access to the right tools. Do you know how much time it takes to do trial and error, to just figure things out on yourself? Like, we're pretty smart, intellectual creatures, right? Can you figure this business out yourself? Absolutely. But the question is, how long will it take, and how much resources do you have? I mean, I've done a trial and error. I didn't have any mentors specifically in this business. And it took me 4 or 5 years to make sustainable growth. That's why we wanted to create a blueprint where we provide you the tools that you need so you can expedite that process. So having the best billboard doesn't mean anything if it is located in the middle of the desert. So you need to have tools to get in front of people and things like that. All right. So through this time, we were just telling people, listen, you don't need to buy leads. Just go learn about the industry. Go do this and go do that. And we noticed that there was really no place for them to go learn the business as transparently as possible. They can go learn it from the lenders themselves or the MCA companies, but their training consists on how to train you to be a telemarketer, right? They're not going to tell you about the commission structure. They're not going to tell you about how to make more money and things like that. They're going to tell you how to work hard so you can get paid better commissions. They're not going to learn about the industry. And others, if they do teach you something, they want to split the deal. So no one independently, transparently want to teach the entire business model. That's why we wanted to create the training. And the old name for this is Merchant Cash Advanced Success Blueprint. It started out as a training for Merchant Cash Advanced, and we added more alternative lending products. And it's been a year and a half since we had that name. Now we're launching the 2.0 version, which is Business Lending Blueprint, because our community has grown. We have many 5-6-figure earners, and we have a couple of 7-figure earners. They built their organizations. So it was time to update certain things. That's why I'm doing the live training, because things are changing quite a bit, and this is including a lot more shortcuts than the training, which was the best in the industry. Now best is becoming better, pretty much. What that is this is an exclusive access to online e-learning program. There's no software to download. You can access it from any computer, pretty much. You need a phone, and obviously you need a computer, laptop, or desktop to access this. It consists of 6 modules and over 50 lessons. I think we have like 54 lessons. And again, you have 24 access to it. There's no technical experience or expertise needed. You're not going to be coding anything, or you don't need to be technically savvy. The training is truly step by step. There's no sales or business experience needed. Honestly, if you have like hardcore telemarketing sales experience, you're coming with that, you have a lot of unlearning to do, because our approach is a lot of consultative approach than just trying to close people. So you're not required to be in the lending industry. We're not assuming that you're coming with any prior experience to this industry. So you can just be, my students are just, we have people as firefighters. We have people who've been mortgage brokers. We have people who've been selling insurance. We have people who have been in real estate. We have nurses. We have professors at colleges, believe it or not. I was trying to find a common theme on all of them. It's they're lifestyle wise, that is impossible. Like we literally have people from all walks of lives. The one common theme we have is they have a passion to make a change, right? If you're looking to change, like make a slight change in your life, I don't think you need to do anything with me, right? So this is for people who want to make a massive change with their life, a kind of transformation type of it. If you're making 10 grand right now and looking to make 12 grand, that's kind of a slight change. You can figure out a way to make that happen. You can ask for a raise from your boss, and maybe you can get a job somewhere else and make that income. But if you're trying to quit your job, or maybe if you're making 5 grand right now and want to make 20 grand, well, that's not some kind of massive change, right? So you have to have a strong why for that. And this program is looking for people like that for sure. A bunch of people from our community that I'm gonna share with you to show you, because you might have in your mind like, yeah, but I don't know if this is for me. Am I a good fit for this? Like Bernie has been through, I guess, most things that an average person would be through in 3 lifetimes. He was running a successful company with a 200 employee back then as a mortgage company. Then things went south after 2008. Then right after that, his wife left him. Right after that, he found out that he was sick. He had an illness that was very debilitating, and he had to be in the hospital a couple of days a week. Then, of course, he lost everything, and he had to pay for the healthcare and things like that. And this back and forth took a couple of years, and he ended up on the streets. He lost everything. So when he reached out to me at the time, I didn't know. Then I found out that he was literally living in his car. He was embarrassed to tell me, but he was living in his car at the time. So I don't know how low somebody can get, right? So we usually complain and bitch about things that just bugs us. But there are people out there who've been through the worst, like living in your car. Like it's pretty bad, right? And he wanted to be a part of the program, and I didn't want to take him in because I told him, Bernie, buddy, I understand, I appreciate your passion for this, but this requires internet. Like you're living in your car, you're telling me your phone is on and off every single month because you might pay the bill one month and you might not be able to. So I just don't know if this is the right business model for you. And he just wanted to ensure me that it would be using a friend's home to go and do it. I said, dude, it's on you, but I feel bad. Like it might be a better idea for you to maybe get a job or something like that. Because I didn't know what to tell him. Like I never had anyone in a situation like that. I know this business opportunity can help, but at the same time, you got to be in front of a computer, and the guy doesn't even have a house to live in. So I felt like I didn't know what to tell him, and he joined the program. Then about a month later, he started funding deals. I'm like, what's been going on? So I got him on the phone. I asked my team to find him, and we got him on the phone. He was doing literally that. He was just using the free Wi-Fi from Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, and he was also kind of friend hopping. Every week, he would just stop by one friend for a day and a second friend for a day to take a shower and use the internet and things like that, and built the business that way. Right now, of course, he moved into his house and bought a car, and he's hiring right now. And this is like he has many posts within our community, within our Facebook group. But we have a couple of people with similar scenarios, but Bernie is the most unique one, and I give him a lot of credit because I myself wouldn't know how to handle that situation. Justin is from Canada. I know we have a lot of people from Canada, so he's been with us for a couple of months, and he's been using the strategies. As you can see, he has 4 app packs, has been funding deals through equipment and things like that, and has been killing it. I mean, the guy lives by himself and is doing really, really well. Guevara was probably the most skeptical person about everything, and he was just back and forth with my team, asking questions. This went on for like 2 months, and I sent him an email saying, dude, I don't think this is for you. Let's just cut to the chase. I don't think I want you in the blueprint, because you're just too skeptical. Business owners make decisions fast and they make swift decisions, and I don't think you have that, honestly. Because this is just too much back and forth. So no, I just want to do it. I just can't. I can't make up my mind. Thanks for helping me. Someone had to make that decision for him, right? So I kind of allowed him to make that decision. He joined, and within within a week, he started funding his first deals. And actually, his first deal came from, like, he's an amazing guy. He was talking to a family member, told them what he does, and that family member just knew a lot of businesses, and she immediately picked up her phone and called someone, and boom, that was his first deal. Then he started getting deals online. So now he's pretty happy right now, and have a happy marriage. Anthony, do you know if there is data about on the default rate of the alternative lending? It's like 1 in 100. The part that impacts you, Anthony, because as the broker, your responsibility is only for the first 30 days. Only 1 in 100 default in the first 30 days. Anything after that is not your problem. All right. Girly says, Robert, this might not be for you because you're too spoiled. I don't know who Robert is. I don't see a comment from someone named Robert. Maybe you know Robert. I don't know. Sabina is another very interesting, unique story. I was at a speaking event in California. I was a keynote speaker, so I went on stage and I'm talking, and Sabina is literally sitting on the first row with her husband, and she's like really cheery, and she has questions. Her hand is up all the time, and I wasn't taking Q&A until the end, and I finally said, yes, please ask me your questions. And she had a bunch of questions, and after I left the stage, and she started following me, and I said, hey, what's going on? And she's like, listen, I know I've been following you for a while. I actually found and talked to a bunch of your students, so I'm super excited. I need to make this happen. I'm like, all right, what's going on? What's the story? And she was like, she had a corporate job similar to me, and she's like an example of what would happen to me and like many of you guys if you kept your job. So she was making six figures, and her husband was making six figures as well. So they had a pretty good life for a while. Then 1 month apart, both of them got fired. That's just what happened. The company said, we're paying you guys too much. We're changing the direction of the company. The same usual reason that they always give. We're changing something in the company. We're going in a different direction. We want to hire people who are okay with getting paid $40,000. So all of a sudden they lost their jobs. And when you lose a six-figure job, it's just very difficult to replace it. You can't just go get a job for another $40,000, $50,000. It takes time to find another six-figure job, and they started going to their savings, and they were losing money. And that's when she said, you know what, enough is enough. I'm not going to go find another corporate job only to be fired a year, 2 years from now. This was a wake-up call. I'm glad that it happened early enough before I get any older, before I'm getting closer to retirement, where it'll be even more difficult to find a job. So she was looking for a business option and somehow found, I think, one of my videos on YouTube and bought the ticket and come to the event and talk to me. And then, long story short, she signed up to the program. Then she disappeared. So I don't know what happened to her. She disappeared for like 2-3 months, and she came back and she started sharing success stories. And that's when we found out that she's been killing it. She's one of those. That's why I say, like, people have different personalities. She has this personality of just working behind the scenes quietly, and she was getting some help from our support team, and she started funding deals. And I interviewed. It became a very famous interview actually in our YouTube channel. Interview her, and she's now back to generating multiple six figures per month. So she figured out the business and turn it into a family business with her husband. Amazing personality. She's helping her community and church. Like, really, really nice lady. She's helping everyone out. But I'm so happy for her. Like, she kind of saw the writing on the wall. Sometimes the things that may seem like horrific events in our lives comes with the seed of the things that will be your future successes, only if you know how to see them, right? She was able to see that. She didn't just look at this as, oh my God, what am I going to do now? I got fired from my six-figure job. I'm done. So she said, you know what? Well, there's a reason why this happened. Let me just seek for the reason why this happened, right? So that's the important part in life and in business. You got to constantly stay positive. Ricardo is a young gentleman. He funded massive amount of deals through our training and the lenders and things like that. This is a deal that he's structured. I mean, look at the commission, $5,250. This is not MCA. MCA pays a little more to some other product. That's the power of this. Like he would have missed this deal if this wasn't MCA, right? He has access to multiple products. That's why he can do things. Patrick has been in boat sales and yacht sales for his entire life. The guy is a warrior. Like he loves being by the sea, by the shore, and that's his passion. And has been doing that job for a long time. He met me in person in New York City. I was doing an event back then, and he joined that. And about a month later, I got this message from him on Facebook. He posted within our group saying that, listen, I quit my job. I'm doing this 100% right now. I'm really happy. And ever since then, he's been doing this. He kind of built an office within his home right now for his in-house business. He's been running that since then. Guys, can you guys still hear me and see me? I'm having interruption with, I guess, some of the comments or questions. Can you give me a yes? I know there might be some delay, but I need to get a couple of yeses from you so I know we're still here. All right, perfect. Just checking. Michael is from New York City. This is like the summary of his month. As you can see, $4,200 in commissions, $700, $1,000, and $3,000 in commissions. Awesome. Thanks for the yeses, guys. Good to know. All right. So what is in the business lending blueprint? Let's get to the meat and potatoes. Module 1 is immersion and paradigm shift, right? For you to go from where you are to where you want to be. So if there's a dot here, that's where you are. Where you want to be, let's say this logo, there's a straight line to go there, right? And that's the gap. You don't know how to go there. That's why you need a paradigm shift. You need a shift on the things that you normally do, because what you do every single day brought you here. It's very unlikely that it's going to take you to the next level. So that's why you need a paradigm shift. You need to immerse yourself into this business. So module 1 is all about that. I show you the big picture for the first time about the industry and how big this can go and why that is, and through numbers and things like that, through facts. Introduction to the industry, so you know more about the industry, and of course, secrets to succeeding in a short amount of time. Because in business, success can come later, maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, but it takes some special type of knowledge and effort to get to certain numbers in a relatively short amount of time. And there are certain secrets that our members have been using over the years. So I'm sharing that with you. Module 2 is products that built the multi-billion-dollar industry. A lot of you guys wanted to know, like, what products do we cover? Guys, the fact is, alternative lending industry has more than 40 different products, 40. But I'm not going to build a training that has all of that. So I want it to be very selective and provide you training on the products that is in demand by your customers, and also that doesn't take a long time to get to the end. Short sales cycle, so it has the combination of all three. It pays good commissions, short sales cycle, but and also is in demand by your customers and really helps your customers. For that reason, we take a deep dive into the world of alternative lending. We teach about merchant cash advance, term and SBA loans, credit repair and credit monitoring, credit card processing. Like 95% of the businesses accept credit card at their location, right? Equipment leasing. What if someone wants to buy a truck or equipment? You're not going to put them through a short-term deal, short-term lending for that. You want to use some kind of equipment leasing because they're buying equipment for their company. Now, if they don't have anything going, like they don't have any credit, they have bad credit, they're just starting a business, they don't have any revenue, but you can fund them through their 401k or IRA. If you're looking to start a company and you need startup funding, good luck getting any type of funding from your bank, unless you want to put your house as an asset, right? So they're not going to provide you any startup funding. We do have options for startup funding through different lenders. Line of credit and working capital, and invoice factoring for anyone, let's say, who's in manufacturing and they work with, like, for example, one of the companies that I was able to personally help back then. We bought a house and we needed just fencing around the house. Like, we wanted to put a fence around, and I was talking to the gentleman. He came in and he put together a proposal for us to hire him. And as we're talking, like, since I'm business, I tend to just chit chat with small businesses. And he was saying that every year they get in massive trouble because they have this government projects. The government is building something to some place and they want them to put fence around it. And the project could be $80,000, $100,000, $150,000. And they bill the government office, whatever the office that is, and they pay them on net 60, net 90. That means that they're going to get the money in 60 to 90 days. Well, they're going to get their money either way, right? But the problem is for a small business, doing all that labor, buying the supplies and paying employees up front only to get paid 60 days from now is almost a deal killer. Like he wanted to get into bigger projects, but he cannot afford to have that much money sitting around on the side to pay the employees and wait 60 to 90 days. That's like a deal killer for a lot of business. That would put you out of business, right? Because you're on an average project, you're putting in 15, 20 guys and you got to pay them next week. They don't care how you get paid from your customer. So for example, invoice factoring is, you buy those invoices and pay the business right away. So they have access to the money, and it's the invoice factoring company's job to collect those invoices from the other parties. So things like that when you think about it, you're like mind-boggling. Whoa, we can really do that? Yeah, you can certainly do that, and you have access to lenders. So these are the products that you're going to be learning a ton about. Module 3, assembling the machine. So guys, we're teaching you to generate leads without telemarketing and cold calling, going to networking events, pulling on doors and things like that. So you got to set up the machine, assemble the machine the proper way. So you got to set up your online presence. So we show you how to set up your business. If you decide to do LLC, S Corp, C Corp, or stay as 1099, we talk about the differences and whatever you choose, how to set that up properly. We show you how to set up your online presence. We actually provide you a 100% free complete website. With the original version of the blueprint, we were just giving you a landing page, just one-page landing page where you fill out the form. We changed that, and now we're providing an entire multi-page website for you, totally designed and ready to go. All you do is transfer it over to you and put your name and company phone number, whatever you want to use for that. It is yours, so the leads are coming to you. No, we're not sharing the website or anything like that. It's 100% yours. We're going to show you how to set up your lead generation channels, and you also get support from our team. So don't look at this and say, oh my God, I got to do a ton of stuff online. Don't worry, we have the entire community and we have our support team. And all the collateral you need, such as the applications you need to use, the required documents to run your business. So you don't need to have access to any other resource out there. Everything you need is in the blueprint, because I come from the industry myself and we have years of experience serving businesses in this industry. So we know what is required and what works and what doesn't work. Module 4 is, all right, let's get to the lead generation. So you got to start generating leads. The best way to do it is to just do this organically at first, because I don't want anyone to come to the training and start spending money to make money, right? So because you might be thinking, oh, this guy is going to show us how to run paid ads, and I need to have a budget of $5,000 to run paid ads. No, that's not the case. We do teach about paid advertising, but every member's goal is to get their business to 10 to 15, 20K per month through organic strategies that we teach, using the social power through social media marketing, email automation. Like email is so powerful, and we're not talking about cold email. We're talking about generating warm leads and use the power of automation through emails to have them book the calls for you, so you talk to the customers on whenever you want on your own time. Because if you have a job from 9 to 5, well, you can't talk to someone at 3 p.m., right? So for that reason, you have to make the business flexible, and these automation tools allows you to do that. And the other part is, like, this is for like immediate lead flow. How do you build an army of referral partners? No, I'm not talking about contacting your mom and friends and family and things like that. Actual referral partners who are in business and they work with other businesses, so they want to work with you, and you make yourself attractive enough to build those partnerships, and they start providing leads to you. And everything you need, legal contracts for partnerships, the scripts and rebuttals, anything and everything you need is provided in Module 4. Sean says, does the website have content already, and is it fully customizable? Sean, 100%. Yeah, we provide all the content with all the products in it, the FAQs and all that stuff, the landing page form. So it's a full website with multiple pages. All you have to do is change your content information, and it's just yours. Anthony says, should we sign up with different lenders before getting our LLC, IN, and websites? Anthony, you'll get directions on when to do it when you get into the platform, when you get into the training. The blueprint is structured in a certain way, and we should tell you, all right, this is the time for you to get in touch with your lenders right now. Module 5, adding fuel to the fire. So some of you will get to that level after using organic strategies. Your business is going to go from zero to, let's say, $15,000, $20,000 level, and you're working from home. But some of you will have the idea of being more entrepreneurial, and you want to build an organization. Maybe you want to hire more employees. Maybe you want to build a 7-figure business. Although most of our members want to build a home-based business where they can work from home, we have individuals it's like if everything follows like an 80-20 rule. 20% of our members, they want to build organizations. So when they build an organization, so you need to have access to unlimited amount of leads. So you need to be okay with spending a portion of your earnings on paid advertising, right? So you grow your company through organic approach. Once you have access to revenue, you're spending some of that money to have access to unlimited leads through paid advertising. So in this module, we give you a very detailed paid advertising strategy. How do you set the foundation? How do you set up your winning campaigns? How do you maximize your ROI? ROI is return on investment. If you're spending $10 and making $20 in return, you're putting in, think of it like a machine, right? You're putting in $10 from one end and getting $20 out of the other end. So how many $10 would you put in? As many as possible, right? That's what a winning campaign does. So you have your budget, you spend it on paid advertising. On the back end, you start funding deals, and then you want to do that process over and over and over again. And the last part is multi-channel marketing. How do you connect everything together? How do you use text message marketing? How do you use voicemail marketing? How do you use Facebook campaigns, and how to use Instagram campaigns and things like that. Donnie says, how can I access the support team? Donnie, if you do sign up, I don't know if you're a current student or not, you receive an email with the support team's contact information. Claire says, what qualifications does one need for startup funding? Claire, that depends on a couple of things. Usually it has to do with a credit score. So since they don't have any revenue or anything like that, or no business at all, their credit worthiness needs to be at a certain point, but there are exemptions for that. Leighton says, what about building a multi-million-dollar business? Yeah, Leighton, we have a couple of students who've just done that. As you said, it would be a matter of scale. That's right. It's a matter of scale, but that requires some different things too. So just rinse and repeating this process will get you there eventually, but there are strategies that will allow you to get there much faster. So if you know that that's where you want to go, you got to kind of make that decision. If you want to have a scalable business and build an organization, because then you got to think about hiring, you got to think about an office place, and you got to think about mastering the paid advertising route and things like that, so that we get there much faster than 7 years. Because guys, without a strategy, it takes about 7 years for a company to break their first $1 million. Okay, so that's what scale is, making the first $1 million and then beyond. But with a strategy, it can be done in a relatively short amount of time. So if that's your goal, Leighton, you got to make that decision. And of course, you can use training for that purpose. So module 6 is, all right, guys, so we've set up our online presence. We know the products. We know the lenders. We partner up with them. We know about lead generation. We're generating leads. The last part is, how do we convert these leads into dollars? Because until then, it doesn't mean anything, right? We got to turn them into money. So we have the Sales Academy, which is the consultative way of helping someone transition from being interested in this program to buying into your options, your loans, and your capital offering to them. So we talk about 6 stages of proper sales engagement, selling with winning scripts. Guys, you got to use scripts, right? But you can't just use the scripts in like a boiler room environment where you don't know the product. You're just like a robot or a zombie, and you're just reading off of. Once you understand what works and how things works, it's just a matter of time for you to practice using proven scripts to make it your own part of your personality. You'll learn about specialists versus generalists. Does it make more sense for you to be a specialist in a certain location, geographic location, or a certain product, or a certain industry? We have all 3 of them in our community. For example, Cheryl Tips, the example I've given, she started out as a generalist, and over time she noticed that after she funded like 2 deals within equipment leasing space, she became like the yellow iron girl. Yellow iron is all those like excavators and things like that, caterpillars, the color is yellow. She became the leasing specialist, equipment leasing specialist for that one. We have people who focus on the construction industry, and they chose the industry as their specialty. We have people who chose other industries. We have people who chose city of Long Island because this person grew up in that area and he pretty much knows everyone in that area, right? Or some of them stay as a generalist. So there are benefits, pros and cons to both of them. So you learn about it. And of course, you have all the rebuttals and additional sales trainings from actual members that I interviewed. They provide you their way of, getting the sales and closing deals and things like that. It's all included in Module 6. Okay, fabulous. Yes, that's exactly what I want. I already have a good team in place. Awesome. Sean, do you have a LinkedIn strategy along with 100%, Sean, we have like a massive LinkedIn strategy that just works. All right. So bonuses for action takers only. Guys, one of the reasons that I upgraded this training and wanted to do a live session with you guys is that, of course, this training costs money, right? It's not free. And we're going through a price increase. And that price increase is going to be by the end of Friday, tomorrow. We're having a new updated price. Since you guys have been on my list, I wanted to let you know and do a training and let you guys know about how to access what we have here at the current pricing, because the current pricing has been here for a very long time. And now we're changing it. We're changing a lot of things and a lot of time is being spent on this. So the bonuses for those of you who join me, number one, you get support through our customer service. And this is lifetime support, not for a month, not for 2 months. Any questions that you have email support and you have phone support. Number two, weekly live calls with me. I do a Q&A call every single week on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York City, where I am right now. I do weekly calls, and those calls are recorded. It's for my members to jump on the call, ask their questions, or listen in if they just want additional coaching. And if they can't make it for job reasons or family reasons, it is recorded. So you have access to the recording and you can still ask your questions the next day. You have free access to any future updates to the Blueprint program because the industry is live. Any changes that happens, we update the training, and we're not going to come back and tell you, hey, if you want the update, we add another lesson. If you want to have access to that lesson, pay us more. None of that stuff. Number four is our community. Like when I was going through all that 160, 170 reviews about our program, the most common word people used was community. They were so thankful to be a part of community, part of a group of people who are professional. They help each other out and they're looking out for each other. That's why you guys are going through an hour and a half, 2 hours with me, because I honestly do not want anyone who can't sit through a presentation, because that kind of tells me that they won't be able to go through a 6-module training, right? That's an indication. That's why we do a lot to repel people who are not a good fit for the Blueprint, right? Because this takes work. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. But anyone who has a strong mind, they really want to make that happen. We're not just throwing you into a training. We're giving you all of these bonuses, the support and calls with me. So I'm not a guy who would disappear on you and you won't hear from me. No, I am on with my team every single week. I'm a part of the Facebook group. Obviously, I chime in at least a couple of times a day. So this is my baby, and I make sure that I take care of my members. A2, how exactly are leads generated? Is knocking on doors and phone calls required? A2, I don't know if you're just joining us, but no. So we don't teach any cold calling or telemarketing. Everything is generated online. All right, so we're gonna start the Q&A session, guys. So if you do have any questions, I'm gonna go through the most common questions that we've received over time. So that could answer a lot of your questions. But if you do have more questions, you can definitely type in within the chat box, and as you can see, I've been answering them. Do I have to be in sales? No, we teach you how to become a consultative salesperson. You don't need to come with a sales experience. How does the future of the business look? I mean, I like to answer things by the numbers. It's a $300+ billion industry. We're funding only about 30% of them. And 70% of the businesses need funding right now, and they can't have access to it. And those who get approved, they're almost never getting the amount they requested in the first place. So there are millions of businesses, and whether you're in the United States and Canada, and most of the businesses out there are small businesses. So we're not targeting people who have 500+ employees. Like, this is mom and pop shops. And if you were to think of a couple of businesses, you might know people who own them, or you might know people who own businesses and things like that. So the future of the business is not going to go anywhere, right? So we're offering money to business. It's the most simple product that you can offer. How much time is required to make this work? Obviously, depends on how much money you want to make and your skill set. But having said that, in my mind, like this is a business, guys. Like you got to spend time on it. If you're not going to have half an hour to an hour spent each day on this, like don't even think about starting a business. That means you're not serious about starting a business. You can't build a business on like 30 minutes. It just doesn't work that way, right? You need some focused time. So with that, my recipe for success, what I tell anyone considering starting, if you cannot carve out 2+ hours, like two and a half hours a day per day, I wouldn't consider this. We all have 24 hours. I trust me. I understand you're busy and you might be like super busy, but if you want to make a change, you have to make sacrifices, right? So you got to spend time on running this. This doesn't require for you to be in front of it for 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours a day. But that's why we're teaching a lot of automation. But I need you to be okay with spending 2 hours consistently. You can't just cram this on a Saturday, right? So you have to consistently, daily put in that time towards building this business, become a part of the community, plug yourself and ask your questions. But it's not a lot, guys. Like 2 hours of focused time per day to build a business that can just transform your life is nothing in my mind. Anthony says, is there any states or country? Well, I mean, you can't do this in non-English speaking countries. So the only places you can do this in Australia, United Kingdom, Canada, United States, but no state that you can't do this. You can do this in any state. Will this work for me? I don't know your specific situation, obviously, but this will work for you if you do this. If you're willing to learn, if you're coachable, you don't think that you know everything. Because if you think that you know everything already, you need to know. I can't help you, right? If you're okay with taking imperfect action, perfectionists fail in business. All right, so you gotta kind of immerse yourself into the training and take action. If you're just going to wait for that perfect moment, perfect time, perfect person, that will never come. Things do not work that way. You just take action, you learn something, you do what you need to do, and you get results that way. It will work for you if you have a true desire to make some money. Like it could be, a couple of, like I tell everyone, you got to keep your feet on the ground and keep your eyes on the stars, right? So I'm sure everyone wants to make $1 million tomorrow. Like first, you got to start by creating options. If you're currently making $5,000, your first goal is to make $5,000 per month, so you can get rid of what's sucking up a lot of your time, right? So if it is your job that's costing you 60, 70 hours a week, well, we gotta kind of put this in numerical terms. What does that mean? Well, that means, let's say $5,000 a month. All right, so then we got to generate $5,000 in income so you can get rid of that. But after that, how much do you want to generate? Is it 10, 15, 20K? The other part is if you truly want to own your own business and be the boss, because this is what this is doing. Like you are becoming your own boss and you want to earn your own freedom and you're making your own decisions. When you become a business owner, there's no one to blame. It is you, and you take full responsibility for your actions. So if you're okay with that, yeah, it will 100% work for you. Can anyone make money with this? That's another question I get. Anyone can, but again, that's a decision for you. You will certainly fail. I can guarantee your failure if you don't try. If you're just one of those people who want to peek in and see what's in the training and peek out, and you have a historical tendency to give up too early on things that you start. If you decide not to understand the product and you think, like I sometimes hear people and I decline them. Oh yeah, man, I understand Oz, but I've been in sales for 25 years. So I know how to sell. So I don't need to learn about the sales process. Like I got it. If I get someone in front of me, I can sell them. I can sell ice to an Eskimo. Like those are the people that I don't really want in the blueprint, right? Because they're not going to make good students. They already think that they know everything. Well, let's talk about the results. If you're at a place where you're really happy and satisfied, then 100% credit to you. But if you think that there are areas in your life that you need to improve, and you're telling me that, oh, you got that part done, there is a conflict, that we got to resolve that conflict, internal conflict, right? You're telling me you got something 100% covered, but you're not showing the results for it. Well, I mean, who are we to blame? Someone has to take responsibility for that. And if you just get your information from the wrong sources, that's why I spend like 5 minutes talking about myself. It's really a part that I really do not like, but I wanted to do it so you get to know who you're dealing with. You got to set the right expectations for yourself. We talked about it. Like you won't make $1 million tomorrow, and you decide to do this without a system or without any source of leads. You can wing it and try to do it yourself, and believe me, it's not going to be fun. Some questions. Brock, what's the best way for me? I will move to Canada. Should I start this business in Canada while I'm working other job, or should I start my home country before I move? That's up to you. But again, you need to for you to start funding deals and get paid for that. I think your priority is to be able to start a business. Otherwise, like you got to find out if you can do this. I know you're overseas, so you're planning to go to Canada, but first you got to find out if you can start a business in Canada and have a business checking account. If you can do that, then the next question is, all right, do I do this while I have a job or not? Depends on like, I mean, if you're coming to Canada with income to live for a month or 2 months because you're building a business from scratch. So I don't know that situation. Anthony, are lenders willing to help our customers build business credit with MCA or other products? It's not lenders' job to help them with business credit, but you have other business partners that we recommend that can help them with credit monitoring and things like that, Anthony. I'm not technical at all. Will I be able to make this program work for me? Each piece of content is created assuming that you're not technical, right? No design or coding experience is needed. As long as you are able to watch videos, and I'm not being sarcastic, guys. Like as long as you're able to watch videos and check your email online, and you can follow directions, you can ask questions, you have a computer, you're not going to have a problem. That's why we're not just saying, yeah, go back and watch the training in that module again. You can do that, but you also have access to our support team. So if you're stuck somewhere, you can get the help from them if you take advantage of the bonuses that we have. How much in resources do I need to make this work? Right, that's another common question I get. I understand Oz, this course is not free, and in a couple of minutes we're going to talk about the cost of the course. But after we invest into the training, how much do I need to have in order to make everything running, like get everything running and going? Do I need to have like $5,000-$10,000 saved on the side, or how much do I need? It's a very good question. That's kind of up to you, because we suggest that you start with the organic campaigns, and we're recommending a couple of tools that you use to expedite the process, and you can do without them. So if you're really on a shoestring budget, you can set everything up, all the systems that we recommend, and start running your business without spending any money, like probably $10 that you need to set things up. Up to you. But if you set up everything that we suggest you do set up, you're looking at maybe $150 to $160. So very minimal in comparison to starting a business from scratch, because we're not saying, oh, you need a marketing budget of $10,000 or anything like that. That's if you want to scale the business beyond where you are right now, or at some point maybe you get it up to like 15K and you want to get to 60K. Then that's something to consider. But at that time, your business is generating revenue, so you have access to revenue, right? But you don't really need to be concerned about having access to a lot of capital, besides having access to the training. How long does it take to succeed? Well, it is designed to get you success and fast track, right? But at the same time, I don't want you to forget that you're building a business. So we have members who are not from the industry, by the way. They didn't walk in with a book of business, fund a deal within the first week. We have members who fund the deals within the first 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So again, that depends on how much time you're putting in, how much effort and focus you're spending on this. But there's no reason that you wouldn't, because you're having access to this entire training up front. So you're not getting this in 1 week at a time. So this doesn't need to take you 1 week to consume and apply. I had people who joined last day of the week, and they spent the entire weekend to go through everything, set something up, and Monday they started generating leads. And I have others who had very little time per day, and they were spending that time to set things up and start generating leads. So that's kind of up to you. We're not controlling that. All right, so we've come this far. We're like an hour and a half into it. Let me know if you learned something about the industry. So I try to provide as much information as possible on how things work, why things work, and why things would not work. So at this point, you can just say, all right, Oz, thank you. Hopefully this was helpful. And you can just go back and ignore this and do what you need to do. Or just you can stay and follow a proven recipe, find out more about the Blueprint program. For those of you who decide to leave, well, I hope that this was helpful for you. But those who decide to stay, we're going to go through the option of how to get started with the Blueprint and the pricing and the next steps. But one thing that I have this as a quote in my room is, guys, time flies, right? So you look into an opportunity, you think it might be a good fit, and you say to yourself, I don't know, I'll just see what happens the next couple of days. Then before you know, you kind of forget about it, and 5 years go by, and you haven't changed anything. You have not made a change, and you look back and you say, oh shoot, I should have done something. I can't tell you how many times I talk to people and they communicated with one of my team members and myself like 6 months ago. And then they fast forward and they call in. They're like, "Oh, we're ready to go. Let's do it." And I asked them like, "What happened?" And they go, "Oh man, sorry, we just tried everything. Like it cost us X amount of dollars and this much time. We should have just done it at that point." So 6 months is not a long time, but people sometimes go a lifetime because they can't. They have this fear of making a decision or pulling the trigger. I always remind myself the same because I'm a human being too. Sometimes I do that too. So you got to do something for yourself today that your future self will thank you for. That's very important. And a couple of other people like and from the just I think at this point like I think I've presented enough proof that this is real. Like we have actual people. James is actually from he's from a networking. He has his background in sorry multi-level marketing industry, so he had a massive amount of people who follow him, downlines and things like that, and he got kind of tired of trying to motivate everyone and bring more downlines and things like that, and started this industry. So in a short amount of time, so stop doing everything he's doing. I think he's only doing like investing like cryptocurrency stuff, and he's doing this 100% right now. So a bunch of more people like Kenton is 24-year-old. Yeah, has been into this. He comes from the e-commerce industry. So he did the e-commerce industry for a while, and he was kind of tired of looking for the next product. And you deal with the small, tiny profit margins, and you're trying to sell $20, $30 products to make money, and you need to sell a ton of them. Elizabetta, she is she used to work at an insurance office in New York City and driving her dad's car and started this business and picked her niche, and she wanted to go in the medical area, right? Her background was in the medical services. She wanted to provide funding to medical offices in a short amount of time, and now she's posing with her Beamer. And I sent this out as an email to some of you might have seen her pictures before. But yeah, this is that was her motivation to get her own car. And next thing is the Aston Martin, the next car that she wants to get. I don't even know if that's how you say the name, but anyways, yeah, it's a European car. That's her goal for next time. Nick is an amazing dude. So Leighton, similar to you, when he came into the training, he first wanted to figure out how to get consistent amount of revenue, and he did that. Then he was looking to grow to 7 figures, but he noticed that, listen, I want to have a partner, and he said there's no better way to find a partner than looking into our own community, within our community. And he found a partner, Steve. So now they partner up and they have 35 employees as far as the last time I checked. As of like 2 weeks ago, they had 20. Now they have 35. They have the training sessions running for them. They're growing the organization massive. So the community is not just for getting help, and also you're helping community. Also, you can find people had their local meetings within our community, believe it or not. Like people who are in the Boston area, sometimes are getting together for coffee and talking and building more relationship. So that's all of that is developing outside of my control. So people are helping each other out. So Nick found his own partner with this and growing this massive business. Edward, he's been up and down. Like when I was talking, he found me on Instagram. I'm not using Instagram for business. It's just my pictures, my family's pictures, and things like that. He somehow found me there. At the time he funded like 2-3 deals on his own through telemarketing. And his first direct message to me, dude, I'm just burning out, man. I'm getting depressed of telemarketing. I'm dialing 300 people. There's I can't really keep doing this. Like this is crazy. So you got to help me out. I'm like, so what are you talking about? He's like, well, he was working for somebody at the time and he was looking for a way out, and he signed up. And then he started funding deals through the system, and he kind of stopped telemarketing right after that. Daniel, you've seen him before. So this is one of his months. Pipeline is over $1 million. His commissions are $50,000. So I would say that's a good month. Jank, yeah, I wanted to put Jank here, but because he's 19 years old. He's our youngest member in the community. And our oldest member is 72 years old, I believe, Michael. I think I have a video with him. So Janky funded his first deal, and he has a ton of pipeline. And actually, I hired him. So he not only he runs his own company right now, he's helping us because he's been an amazing member. Just the guy's like a ball of energy. Not only he's running his own business successfully, and he was just helping everyone out to the level of people started thinking that he works for me. So I ended up hiring him. Now he does both. He works for us, and he's building his own business too. Frank, do you have a community in Atlanta? Frank, I don't run these communities. I don't know. So you got to check with the members. So they're the ones who are getting together. So I was in Canada recently in Toronto. Actually, it was the week before last week. There was an industry event. There were a lot of lenders coming to Canada and they're opening their offices. And I was invited to that event. I went to Canada and there was like a group of people getting together in Canada and talking to each other. So I don't know, but yeah, it's very possible. So just to quickly go through all modules to show you guys what you're looking into. Module 4, organic reach, paid advertising, converting leads into dollars, and the bonuses. So guys, I don't know if you've done any research, but there are trainings out there that cost over $25,000, right? So it's a 7-day, I think they promote it as like an intensive course that you are closed into an office for 7 days and learn about the business and things like that. I was asked to do it that way too, like provide training like that, but that's not long lasting because we have an attention span, and after day 2, you start losing it. You're not going to sit through a 7 days intensive course and come out of it and start applying everything you're learning. You're going to retain only a small percentage of that. That's why we're not charging that much. The course has been offered for a long time for $897 or 2 payments of $475. Again, the price is going to go up. We're changing. We have a 2.0 version with all the things that we talked about in this training. We have hundreds of people who are telling us this is an amazing training and it's been life-changing. So as of the end of Friday, tomorrow, we're going to start offering this at a new pricing, right? But for now, you still have access to this through the 1-pay option or the 2-pay option of $475 if you do that right now. Just let me just put this page up so you can see it on your end. So if you do sign up right now, you're gonna have a call scheduled. One of my team members will reach out to you and have a call scheduled with you and I one-on-one as a welcome call. So that's my gift to you for pulling the trigger, taking action, and being committed to building this business. But if you do need to wait until Friday, which is tomorrow, I don't do the one-on-one calls, but after you sign up, but you're able to book a call with one of my team members and have them kind of process your payment. And if you do have additional questions, you can certainly do that. I'm going to put the link for that in the next couple of minutes so you can schedule your call. Anthony, yes, thanks. I have learned. I have already joined. All right, so you're a current student. Perfect. Donnie says, nice. Frank, okay, thanks. Yeah, so you must see the link for the offer right now. As of tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow, I put 48 hours because obviously we had a presentation yesterday, right? So we had the first batch of people who had a live training with me yesterday, and this is the second session that you chose to be a part of this. It's going to go up to $14.95. Some of you were privately asking me what the new price will be. So if you want to do this next week, you can certainly do it through this price. But I'm just letting you know, since you've been on my list, I didn't think it would be fair for me to just increase the price and let you know after. But if you're like ready to do this, if you know that you're going to do this at some point, well, right now is the perfect time to do it. So you get access to all the bonuses, you get access to Business Lending Blueprint, and of course, we'll do a one-on-one call for those who join today. And for those who need to sign up tomorrow, you need to book a spot. We don't have a lot of spots left, honestly, for tomorrow because of the first group yesterday. But yeah, you can certainly book a spot to get your payment taken tomorrow and get started with the program. Any questions, guys? I'm just checking with my team for those who are signing up. So I want to make sure they need to give you manual access to the 2.0 version. So I'm just checking on that one. So I'm not checking my email. And if you're hearing noises, background noises, that's Tofu, our company dog, is just walking around and trying to jump onto the couch to take a nap. So that's him. All right, I see a bunch of you came through. All right, let's see. Um, if doing the two pay, when is the second payment due? It's 30 days from now. They're 30 days apart. Sean, yeah. So if you, how much time do you need, Sean? So I can have somebody give you a call if you just send me a private message with your phone number. We don't know. We're not. So the link is right here, right now. So if you need another hour or so, I can have somebody reach out. But I just need your phone number. So if you can privately send it over to me, that would be great. Or send an email to our support team. And I still see a bunch of you coming in. Leighton, all right, great to have you. Welcome. Girly Oz, I'm in the middle of a closed, decent size, 53,000. He got DocuSign 2 days ago and now dragging his feet. I have food poisoning, etc. What would you do without pushing him to? Um, he got DocuSign 2 days ago and now dragging his feet. I have food poisoning, etc. What would you do without pushing him too far? Pushing him too far. Like I mean, if he has legitimately had food poisoning, obviously that's a problem. He needs to recover from that. But I don't know like how the whole how you set the expectation up front, because the deal is not starting from the closing part, right? So it's from all the way from the beginning, how you set the expectation, and did he fully understand what he was getting into and things like that. So there has to be a reason why somebody's dragging their feet. So you got to find out what that reason is. So I would have a heart-to-heart conversation with them. Sometimes it is required to tell them, listen, I understand like if you're having health problems, so are you asking us to wait on this, or there's a reason that we're not really talking about? So where are you with this 1 through 10? Are we definitely doing this? If so, excuse me, what's really holding us back right now? So I would have that heart-to-heart conversation with him if he's still responding to you. Juan, if I pay half today and half in 30 days, oh yeah, Juan, two pay option is for like convenience. So yeah, if you do the half, you get access to everything up front. So you're not waiting 30 days. So yeah, any people who do two pay, you get access to it right away. Brandon, I need until tomorrow. Tomorrow, Brandon. All right. So for those of you who need the calendar, I'm just gonna put up the calendar for a minute. So that way you guys can schedule your call with one of my colleagues. All right, let me check the chat box. Leighton, okay, cool. Regarding payment, yep, you're getting everything up front, Leighton. Girl, I could gotten that answer from my German Shepherd. Thanks, anyways. All right. I don't know the situation, so I can't really tell you do this and it's going to magically solve your problem. So good luck with the German Shepherd. All right, guys. A bunch of you sign up. So anyone who sign up, just check your inbox. You're gonna get a separate login for the 2.0 version. So disregard anything that you might have seen when you opted in, when you made the payment. So check your inbox and only use those login details to access the training. Okay. Juan, yeah. So if you do sign up now, you're gonna get a call with me, like a welcome call. So we're gonna get to know each other, and I'm gonna answer your questions. Curtis, I've already spoken to Fernando a couple of weeks ago. My story is very, very similar to Bernie's. I just need a little time while I start a new job. Is there any way to lock in the lower price? Curtis, this chain has been coming up for a couple of months now, unfortunately. I think Fernando must have told you that the price is going up at that point, too. So that wouldn't be fair to other people. So there's really no way to lock that price in, unfortunately. Juan, just yeah, I think I just saw the second part of your yeah, so Juan, if you do join right now, you get a call with me. But if you need to join later, like tomorrow is like the deadline, you get a call with them. But yeah, for those who are signing up today, I just want to make sure I welcome them and answer their question and make sure that we help them hit the ground running. All right, guys, I'm going to stay for a couple of more minutes to answer your questions. Meanwhile, I'm just checking with my team to make sure every one of you are getting your login details. That's very important, obviously. So I want to do that. They're just on standby. They're helping each person out, but I'm just checking on them to make sure that all of you are getting what you need right away. Christy, Oz, I'm certain that I wish to join the community, but 2 weeks out to next commission check. I'm so impressed. We'll be in touch. Thanks, Christy. Looking forward to seeing you in the blueprint. All right, let's see if you have any more questions. All right, guys, any more questions? If not, we're going to wrap it up. Um, Again, so I'm going to put the order page back up again. I think we've given enough time for the calendar if you wanted to book a call. So I'm going to put the order page up again for one final time for you guys to enroll. I'm going to check the chat box in a second. I'm still here. All right, Leighton, I'm sign up for what's next. Leighton, just you check your inbox for the login details so you can jump right in and start the training. And also, my team will send you an email once we're done here. So when we take account of whoever signed today, they're gonna reach out and have you guys schedule a call with me so we can jump on the welcome call. But meanwhile, just feel free to check your inbox for your login details, and you're free to just jump into the training. Brandon, for calling. Brandon, let me see if this is a part of another message because it says for calling is Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Eastern Standard Time. Yes, I'm in New York City. Leighton, when will I be getting the call as? So right after, I'm going to be done the next couple of minutes. So there you know who signed up. So you're going to reach out through email, Leighton. Brandon, thank you. I got it for a call tomorrow. Have a great day. All right. Looking forward to it, Brandon. Albert, is there a 2 payment plan for the new pricing? We don't know, Albert. For now, we're going to start with the 1 pay pricing. But yeah, probably we're going to have the 2 pay at some point. But my guess is it's going to be around $800 for the 2 pay option. So 800 now, 800 something down the line for another month. I'm still here, guys. I'm just checking the people who just joined and make sure that they have full access to everything. Seems like our team doing a great job so far. No problems, and I see a bunch of you already logged in, which is awesome. Guys, I'll be here since there are questions. I'll be here for another couple of minutes. All right, let's see. Greg, if I purchase tomorrow with the two payment plan, are the bonus? Yes, Greg, bonuses are still available, and you're going to have to call with one of my team members. And is there a deadline on the 9th at midnight in my time zone? I don't know what time zone you're on, but it is our time zone. So by the end of business day for us tomorrow, we're going to add another hour because we have many people because we extended the calendar time as well. So we're going to be closing at 8:30 tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Leighton, your password is not working. Did you use the new login details that you got in? So just make sure you check the latest emails and check your spam folder. Use that login. Greg, thanks for your response, Oz. Yep, you're welcome. Leighton, are you LVCO? Is that you? What name did you sign up under, Leighton? All right, I'm gonna just send a reset password to you. I don't know why you're seeing that, but let's just send a send password. So check your inbox. I have your email, which is that name and your company name. I don't want to publicly say it, but I believe we have the right email since you got some kind of login info. So check your inbox for a new set of email address, please. I'm sorry, it's a new set of password, please. No worries. So if you lost Wi-Fi, I was just telling you that I reset your password. So check your inbox. Yeah, check your inbox for your new password. Use that one, please. I just reset your password. You got the email? Okay. Yeah. Just let me know if you can get in. Someone just tried to make the payment, but their bank is not approving it. So I'll just give the first portion of the email, which is large cash at something. So if that's you, you got to call your bank and let them know that you're making a payment to us. That's the failed code. That happens every once in a while. So if you have a very like strict security, your bank might be holding on to, you just gotta give them a call and let them know the amount, and then we can just try it again, or we can try it again yourself. That's up to you. So whoever that is, if you're still on, that's the message that we're seeing. That's Thomas. Yes. So Thomas, if you're still on, yeah, your payment did not come through. Your bank is asking you to contact them to, I guess, give your verbal approval to them so you can process it again. All right, guys. With that, I'm just gonna wrap it up. We still have a ton of people here, so I'm not sure if do you have any questions, but I'm not seeing any questions. So for that reason, I congratulate those who jump on today. It's a massive commitment on your end, so definitely looking forward to your success. Thanks for staying with me for 2 hours. That's definitely a lengthy presentation, but that shows your commitment. Those are the people that definitely want my blueprint. Darnell, hello Oz. First off, thank you for your time. I have scheduled a call with your team with the first morning spot. That was awesome. Great to have you. Albert, I think I answered that question. So for now, there is not, but if you do have it, that's in the amounts of $800. I don't know the exact amount. Don't hold me to it. But for now, it's going to be one pay. But yeah, if we do decide to offer it, it's going to be 800 something. But I just don't know. I have to discuss with my team. But yeah, so for now, it's going to go up to 14.95. And you can email us like on Monday to check on it. If today and tomorrow is definitely not working for you. All right, guys, with that, I will let you go. Appreciate your time. Love you all. Hopefully, this was either whether you joined or not, this was beneficial, and looking forward to um, helping you with your journey either way. Take care now. All right, Curtis, Brock, thank you. Take care, guys. Bye bye.